A very good morning to you all and welcome to another daily market outlook. So first of all, before we dive in, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you who are helping me out build this YouTube channel by either responding to yesterday's post, being active within the free Discord server, link is in the description down below by the way. Yeah, you guys are really helping me out grow all of this to what it is today. So thank you for that, and without further ado, let's dive in and see what the major dollar pairs are doing for today. Starting off with the dollar index. So the dollar index hasn't really been moving at all. Looking at the daily time frame, we can just see that we've been consolidating on a lower time frame as well. So looking at the lower time frame, with that being the 4 hour, we can clearly see fake out on the high as I mentioned yesterday. Straight impulse back down, but yeah, no real interesting moves at all. We're currently just waiting for a direction to be chosen by the market. So either a push in towards this buy before the sell, or in towards the sell before the buy, which is of course daily demand and which is in line with the daily trend. So I'm still keeping my eyes out for this daily area of demand and this trend line to see if we can kind of dive below it, grab some liquidity, dive in towards demand, and then see a potential reversal. But for the time being, I'm not really trying to predict anything. I'm just waiting, and I will react and adapt to what happens at that specific time. Just keeping in mind that we could kind of see this ascending wedge formation form possibly, and then a dive down lower. But again, we'll just wait and see what the market gives us, and we will react to that. So if we see a push up higher, anticipate that we could see a further push down. If we see further push down, anticipate that we could see a push higher. Just remember, daily trend is bullish, so we are looking at the end of the day for a further push up. This is just going to be a short-term push down. At least that is what we expect. So that said, let's head over to our first pair, which is Aussie dollar and Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar ended up moving a little bit higher as of yesterday. As you can clearly see, yesterday morning we did see pretty nice push back down in towards the downside, especially if you look at the 15-minute. We tapped beautifully in towards that area of supply which I mentioned. This could have been a pretty good trade for yourself if you took it. You could have gained some R definitely by placing your stop loss above the high. This was an easy 1 to 1.71 for instance. But going back in towards the 4 hour, not much still going on. As we can currently see, we've been diving back up in towards this extreme area of supply. I would not be surprised if we do still take out this high over here, grab liquidity, and then dive down lower. Just keeping my eyes out for that. At the moment, not really seeing anything that interesting. Quickly looking back at the 15 and looking at what the market provided us with, we can also see that inside of here, there's not really an area of fresh demand or supply, excuse me. So I'm just going to be waiting for this high to be taken out. And then after that, I will be keeping my eyes out for a potential short. At the moment, nothing really interesting on Aussie dollar. I'm not going to just be selling randomly. I'm going to be waiting for liquidation to happen, and then I will be looking for those shorts. So yeah, that is that for Aussie dollar. Let's head over to our next pair, which is Euro dollar and Euro dollar. So Euro dollar has been pushing down a little bit lower, still very choppy. As we can all see, markets are overall pretty choppy this week. As we can see, just some descending corrective price action. This could possibly mean that we are going to see a reversal up in towards the upside soon, because as you guys know, descending choppy price action is essentially a bullish sign. Most of the time when you see this descending price action, which is choppy, it leads up or is the build up to a next move up higher. So just keep that in mind when trading. However, I'm not going to be longing anywhere from here. I will only be looking for a potential very short-term long, which is again very high risk from this area of demand, which is your sell to buy. So that is that for Euro dollar. Still, we're still bearish on the 4 hour, as we can clearly see. Strong high, weak low, extreme area of supply, expecting of course a push down lower. Just keeping in mind that the current choppy price action and the bullish momentum is just very strong and is indicating that the bulls could take control. Quickly diving back in towards the daily. The daily is also bearish, as we can see inside this bearish extreme area of supply. And it is looking good so far, right? We are seeing some strong rejection, so we could just keep on pushing down lower. But again, just keep in mind that once we reach this area over here, we could potentially see a push up higher. However, again, daily and weekly are bearish, so I will be favoring shorts overall. Market structure is just not that clean. What I'll be waiting for is potentially on the 15 for just some more clean price action. So let's say clean break of this low over here. We need some clean area of supply to be created, and then I will be looking for potential shorts. Otherwise, just skip it, not really worth the risk. So with that said, let's head over to our next pair, which is pound dollar and pound dollar. So pound dollar, what are we currently waiting for? Well, as I pretty much mentioned yesterday, still waiting for liquidation. It's just the same analysis as yesterday. Need some liquidation, tap in towards supply, and then look for further downside. At the moment, what we saw yesterday was pretty much this high get taken out. Over here, we saw straight away that bearish reaction in towards the downside, but no real interesting area of supply to our left, which could indicate that push down lower. Therefore, just waiting for a push up higher before the next potential dump back down in towards the downside. Going quickly in towards the daily as well, we have this daily bullish candle which got engulfed by this bearish candle, meaning that at the top there is some supply located on the daily. Therefore, I would prefer to still see a push up higher before the next move down. So yeah, that is that for pound dollar. Let's head over to our last pair, or a previous last pre-last pair, Kiwi dollar. And Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi dollar has done exactly what we waited for. As we can clearly see, liquidation of this high, tap in towards the buy before the sell, and we are now starting to move down lower. Textbook setup. If you watched yesterday's YouTube video, you should have been able to capitalize potentially on this move and be in some profit. Diving in towards the 15. 15 is going to flip bearish once we break, let's say, this low over here. So if we break that low, see a pullback in towards, let's say, supply, you can then look for potential scaling if you missed that initial entry. So yeah, that is pretty much it as well for the 4 hour. Now let's head over to gold. And gold is just creeping up higher. As we can clearly see, we have some demand located over here. That's why we're pretty much just reacting at the top over here with this wick, inside these two wicks, because if you look on the lower time frame, this is going to be a 15-minute area of supply. Yeah, so this is your buy before the sell on the 15-minute. So quickly diving back in towards the 4 hour, just keep in mind that we could see a reaction from here, but still just preferably wait for that daily area of supply, as that is a much more stronger area. Of course, we could adjust it from wick to wick, because if you adjust it from wick to wick, you can clearly see that is what we're currently reacting to. However, it's just a higher probability if you wait for the body of those imbalance candles, of those supply candles to get hit, as you'll just have a higher strike rate with a tighter stop loss. So that is pretty much it. Just waiting for a little bit of higher prices before a potential short on gold. Yeah, for the rest, as I said yesterday, the gold chart is just super ugly in my opinion, so therefore not really that interested in trading it. So that is that for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all a fantastic day, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Join the free Discord server, link is in the description down below, and I will speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.